Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we talk about all news, comics, and media related to the... On this episode, Apollo joins us to review IDW Publishing's King Grimlock number 4 in comics, and we respond to a little bit of feedback. Today is Friday, December 31st, 2021, and this is episode 266 of Transmissions Alt Mode. Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that dreams of better times in 2022. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Charles, you know that it's 2020 also, so I'm not so optimistic. Hi.
Apollo, aka Robo Apollo.
Hi, what's up, everyone?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
I mean, I've been looking on social media lately. I don't know about you guys, but apparently Soylent Green is based in the year 2022. There's a new documentary coming out about the moon fall. It's you know, talking about the moon crashing into the earth. This is a true documentary, if there ever was one. There's creatures living in the moon apparently, and they're going to come and destroy the planet in 2022. It's mind-bending stuff. Let's talk Transformers.
I mean, apparently there's much more important things to talk about. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you start the year off depressing, there's nowhere to go but up.
That is true.
Yeah. Can we just get back to the times when we all just thought the moon was made of cheese, and that was the biggest problem?
The man in the moon.
You guys still just believe that the moon exists. It doesn't exist.
I'm on the side of the flat moon theory here. I mean, we never ever see the other side. It's just a big disc out there.
Oh no.
The quote dark side. It's just the back.
Yeah.
It's the other side of the coin
for a flat Earth.
Yep.
I mean, for all I know, there's a picture of the Queen on the other side. It's just a big coin.
Oh boy. Well, this is the last show of 2021. As you're listening to this, I hope you're enjoying your New Year's Eve preparations or getting ready to have a fun night. We recorded this early so that we could all enjoy the holidays. So
there goes Charles giving away all our secrets.
But yeah, I mean, this we hope 2022 has a bright future with no moon creatures or catastrophes of the moon slamming into the earth or anything like that. But I guess you never know. We'll see. I mean, we didn't envision a pandemic lasting over 2 years, but you know, here we are.
But we're gonna eat people, right? Like that's still gonna happen.
Well, we're just gonna have to wait and see, Daryl.
Okay.
We're gonna. I hear there's a new brand coming beyond Soylent Green. So.
I mean, I'd like to get ahead of the curve this time. I've really been screwed with this whole pandemic thing. I go to the supermarket and the shelves are just gone. So, I mean, if I could get ahead of it this time and really, you know, really stock the fridge, it'd be good.
All right. Well, we'll have to get back to you. Anyway, for a surefire way to avoid being used as ingredients in Soylent Green, we can recommend becoming a Transmissions Donatreon. It's one way to avoid it. If you'd like to support the show, you can just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support, and we really appreciate all the folks who help us out, and we promise not to eat them. So thank you for your support.
You hear that, Daryl?
I mean, I guess he speaks for all of us, but
we've also next Monday, January 3rd, will be the first episode of our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust, the first episode of 2022. This is the regular episode of 66, Execute Order 66. This is the regular episode that goes up in the free feed. So our Donatrons already have access to the bonus early uncut episode 66 that was out earlier this week. But now everyone else will have access to the regular final edit of the episode. So enjoy. That's coming this Monday, January 3rd. All right. Well, this week, as I said, we're not doing a big long show this week, but we did want to give you something special to enjoy during the holidays. So this week we are doing just a single comic review. And this week we are reviewing King Grimlock number 4, written by Steve Orlando, art by Agustin Padilla, colors by Jeremy Caldwell and Heather Breckel, letters by Jake M. Wood, editor David Marriott, assistant editor Riley Farmer, and supervising editor Tom Waltz. We got 3 covers this week. So cover A is Grimlock fighting the Golden One's true form of a giant dragon. That's by Dave Wilkins. Cover B is Grimlock breathing fire by Ilias Kyriazis. And the retailer incentive cover is Grimlock standing triumphant over the body of that dragon. And that is by James Stokoe. So, Apollo, which of these covers strikes your fancy?
I really like cover A by Dave Wilkins the most. I just think it's a very interesting cover with the layout, and I like the painting for it. I'm guessing it's done digitally, but I just like the layout and the narrative of it, and especially with that glowing sun in the background. That's just really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Jeremy, which cover are you picking?
I think I'm going with the RI cover. It's just, I don't know, something about that like pencil sketch looking style of this image that it really kind of pulls me to it. And I don't know, there's just something about it. I don't know if it's the coloring or the sketching or whatever, but I really kind of like that style.
All right. And Daryl, which cover are you picking?
I am also going to go with cover A. I remember talking about it when I picked it up, and the sealer for this on me, or for me, was the dragon on this cover. My daughter's really into dragons, and the dragon on this cover just looks amazing. I've never really seen David Wilkins's art before, but the dude can draw some freaking dragons, man. This thing looks awesome. So, and Grimlock doesn't look too shabby either. So yeah, it's a very cool cover, and that dragon is just a beast. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Apollo and Daryl and pick cover A. That really is that image is just an awesome image, very dynamic, and the dragon is really nicely done there, and the imagery with the sun in the background and Grimlock's glowing sword and everything just looks really good. So yeah, cover A for me too. All right, well, let's talk about the story. In his palace, the Golden One welcomes his newest recruit, his former enemy, the barbarian rebel Arco. He touches her arm and transfers a piece of the power of Soltron into her, upgrading her to a golden-armored warrior. But the new power comes with a price. For her past defiance, she must offer a sacrifice to the Golden One to demonstrate her loyalty. She declares that her sacrifice will be Grimlock. Back at the Red Wizard's fortress, Grimlock and the Menonian rebels savor their victory and liberation of the lands ruled by the Red Wizard. Grimlock examines the broken body of the Quintesson wizard. The wizard was running on energon native to Menonia, but as Grimlock examines the energon leaking out of the body, it seems wrong. Suddenly, the liquid energon becomes animated like a giant amoeba and attacks Grimlock, trying to consume him. But Grimlock is not so easily overcome. He transforms to T-Rex mode and blasts the energon with his fire breath, destroying it. Later, Grimlock has gathered all the Menonian rebels together by the fire that burns away the rest of the Red Wizard's corrupted body. Grimlock tells the people that to defeat the Golden One, they will all have to work together. The blood of Soltron, the corrupted energon that flows in Menonia, and is the power source of the Golden One, is actually a poisonous, corrupting substance. That is the Golden One's weakness. Arnak, Arko's father and leader of the Valoreft village, meets with Nerea, the elder who leads the Angloria village. Arko despairs that their magic energy was exhausted after using their last to bring Grimlock to Menonia. But Nerea tells Arnak that she still has magical fuel to use that she can share with Arnak so they can work together. Grimlock hears them and formulates a plan. While the elders use their magic to weaken the Golden One, Grimlock will provide the distraction by doing what he does best. Grimlock will smash. Later, Grimlock approaches the Golden One's fortress alone. From the tower, the Golden One, his servant Clada, and Arko watch his approach. Clada is not convinced that Arko has switched sides, but the Golden One acknowledges that her intelligence was correct. Grimlock has come to face them alone. His weakness is his compassion for Arko's former people, and also his wounded pride, which compels him to meet the challenge alone and thus prove his might. So Clada says, if it's a fight Grimlock wants, it's a fight he'll get. He goes down to open the gates of the fortress, flanked on all sides by the Golden One's army of monsters. Clada greets Grimlock and asks if he's here to talk. Grimlock is here to smash. Clada tells him that he faces insurmountable odds against the army of monsters in the Golden One's employ, including his former friend Arko, who has accepted the Golden One as her master. Grimlock is incredulous. They must have tricked her, but it doesn't matter. The time for talk is over. Grimlock unleashes a brutal attack. The monsters are no match for Grimlock's savagery. One Cyclops manages to disarm Grimlock and take his Energo sword. But that doesn't stop Grimlock. He headbutts the Cyclops, smashing its skull. Then he grabs the body by the legs and swings it in a wide circle, smashing all the enemies around him. The monsters are driven back, but continue to surge on. One yells defiantly at Grimlock that they are Legion, and there is only one of him. But Grimlock tells them he's not alone either. Further away on a cliff, Arnak and Nerea join their magical powers to manufacture a solar eclipse. This disrupts the power of Soltron and weakens the Golden One. But the Golden One still has enough power to challenge Grimlock directly. The Golden One transforms into a giant golden dragon. The dragon swoops down on the battlefield and snatches Grimlock in the air with the talons of its feet. The dragon manages to bite Grimlock's shoulder, crushing and crunching the metal. But the golden dragon didn't go for Grimlock's head. Grimlock transforms to T-Rex mode and bites back. The golden dragon crashes to the ground and reverts back to his human form. Grimlock tells him he knows the truth. The Golden One is just a puppet of Soltron, the source of the energon poisoning Menonia and him. Grimlock tells the Golden One that he can crush Soltron directly and free him of the corruption. The Golden One hesitates as doubt consumes him. As Soltron senses its host's resolve wavering, it takes control. A war takes place inside the body of the Golden One. Soltron, the true power, asserts itself, but the Golden One remembers that he originally wanted only to free Menonia and live in peace before Soltron corrupted him. Soltron's energy flares and fights on against Grimlock, but the Golden One's persona still lives. Eventually he wins, and with one last act of will, the Golden One turns a blast of energy on himself, killing and freeing him from the influence of Soltron. With his dying breath, the Golden One thanks Grimlock for freeing him. From above, Arko watches angrily. Even the Golden One has fallen to Grimlock. And now Soltron is in need of a new host. It comes to Arko. At first, Arko resists. She doesn't want to be used and corrupted like the Golden One, but eventually she submits to Soltron's influence. Because it senses her fear, and it tells her the only way to conquer her fear is with power. Grimlock sees his former ally Arko be consumed by Soltron, and he knows the worst is yet to come. To be continued. So this was I thought this was a pretty strong issue. The story continues with Grimlock single-handedly fighting his way through all these monsters on this weird planet. we had the last issue had to introduce the twist of Arco finally switching sides and going to work for her former enemy, just being so pissed off at Grimlock. So that they've set up the final confrontation between her and Grimlock in the next issue. But yeah, I mean this issue I thought that showed a good amount of destruction with Grimlock's savagery throughout the whole story, and then finally the twist of the Golden One not being the actual final enemy. So that was interesting. But I thought it was well done. I thought the art was really well done. Augustin Padilla's art has been strong throughout the series, and I liked everything he's done. Especially, I mean, it's especially interesting considering there's really just one robot to draw throughout the whole series, and everything else is kind of fantasy barbarian stuff. So I still thought it was really good. So, Daryl, what did you think of this issue?
I thought it was pretty good. Like you said, the art was pretty top notch. It's it's still that rough style, which we've talked about in previous issues, but it works for this. It does what it needs to do. The Grimlock images, they all look great. Echo everything I've said every single time. If you're going to draw Grimlock like rough like this in this kind of style, the Autobot symbol cannot be crisp like this. It's a stamp. I've said it a million times. You can't use a stamp if your style is rough like this. It stands out like a sore thumb. But the art is really strong. I really appreciate the action sequences. They were really well choreographed, and I was really, really happy with that. The one thing that I really kind of, there wasn't a lot of story movement in this. This was really just an action heavy book, which, this is right up my alley. But when the Golden One is, when he kind of, kills himself to kind of, give Soltron, up and kind of make, him available to fight Grimlock. I was really kind of hoping that Soltron was going to be a character we'd know. Somebody that had kind of come to this planet and kind of taken over and had given them some other kind of name and just, become their god essentially. But we know him as, I don't know, Swindle or some other bullshit. Like he's just a lowly character, but on this planet he's a god to them, right? I was really hoping he'd be, a known character. But this Soltron is, we got an image of him here. He's completely new, right? And to top it off, he's an Autobot, right? Which is also nuts, right? So, there's a lot of questions here that I have about all this. Obviously, he's, Soltron's got a past. We've got one issue left. I'm not expecting to get a lot of these questions answered. But I was really hoping that we'd recognize Soltron once we actually got to see him. The heel turn, if you will, for the Golden One was pretty quick. I expected him to put up a little bit more fight, but again, this is all kind of taking place in the pages of 20, or in the issue, which is only 20 pages, right? So this is it's pretty quick to kind of go through, but I liked it. It was a battle book. It was a fight issue, and it works for me. This is the kind of comic I can get behind.
Yeah, maybe there will be a revelation in the last issue. They've made it pretty clear that Soltron is apparently an Autobot, because every time the Golden One creates minions or monsters or anything, they all have Autobot symbols on them. So maybe it's Bumblebee. Bumblebee's yellow. Maybe
Goldbug.
Maybe Goldbug. Yeah, sure. And yeah, in this issue, Soltron is just green energy or whatever. So you don't really. I mean, maybe he is. Maybe he is an Autobot we've seen before, and we'll see his actual form next issue.
Yeah,
it's Scrounge.
Scrounge.
Scrounge. Hope springs eternal.
Yep.
All right, Apollo, what did you think of this issue?
I really liked this issue. I really like the artwork for this. It's different from what we've, for other Transformers series. But, as Daryl said, there's a lot more, there's only one robot in this really pretty much other than, I guess, Solotron, which I wasn't expecting. So, him being an Autobot, but I really liked it. I really liked the fight scene with the dragon. I thought that was really cool. I don't know if you guys brought this up in a past episode. I wish that Grimlock would speak normally. It'd make it a lot easier to read. If he was more like the Cyberverse Grimlock, but that's just my nitpickiness with this. But I really like the use of the inks, with the contrast with the black, with, the colors on this art and the roughness of the art. I really do think it fits for the story. And I'm looking forward to seeing the conclusion to the story.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they probably went with the whole Me Grimlock thing to emphasize the barbarian the Conan the Barbarian angle with this story. So I guess they thought Me Grimlock was more in keeping with that theme, so they stuck with that. But yeah sometimes it can get a little annoying when they're trying to put more usually when you have Me Grimlock, he's not expressing complex thoughts and emotions.
Exactly.
So it's not that difficult, but here they're trying to have him still be, give these speeches about power and courage and everything, and he's still, talking in caveman talk. So yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Okay,
Jeremy, what did you think of this issue?
I also thought this was a really good issue. I'm still the whole background of this world is still kind of a mystery. So I'm sure all will be explained in issue 5, but, having the Golden One not be the final boss is, it was a kind of a welcome change, because usually, these things are a little bit more predictable where, the battle wouldn't be concluded in the issue, or something would happen and it would, have to be wrapped up in the final issue. Whereas now a new challenger has entered with Arco. So, we'll see what next issue has in store there. But, the battle was really fun. I like having Grimlock go up against a dragon. I think that's a really fun, concept. And, being someone that's more familiar with the beast mode, Grimlock immediately kind of echoed Thanos and was like, you should have gone for the head. Mm-hmm. Thought that was fun. I mentioned in last week's alt mode about the sound effects, that the lettering does. How come Grimlock can make the proper transformation sound effects and the same letterer across this book and the main ongoing, but he does the TSCHE sound, for the proper sound effects. I don't get it, but I do appreciate all the different sound effects. And like Apollo mentioned, the inking, and I really like the different colors between when the Golden One is speaking and you can tell he's possessed by Soltron. It goes to a black background with white text. Really clear to tell kind of who is speaking at that moment. And I really like that. Mm-hmm. And one thing I thought was interesting after, Arco got her armor upgrade and stuff, Steve Orlando has written Wonder Woman for DC, and her new armor kind of gave me some Wonder Woman vibes, even though, I know Augustin Padilla did the art, but I'm wondering if that had anything kind of to influence the design, kind of a DC Amazon kind of, warrior look. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next issue. I know we all kind of expect that Grimlock will be able to save Arco from this kind of possession, but being that this is just a one-off story, everyone is expendable pretty much except for Grimlock. So, I'm curious if she does survive. I think that was all I had to say. Just again, this issue or this series has just been so good, so enjoyable. I would welcome this team back on a Transformer book anytime.
Yeah, I didn't even make that connection, but that's now that I'm looking at it again. Yeah, I agree with you that it does give you those that Wonder Woman 84 golden armor warrior, Amazon warrior vibe. So yeah, that's interesting.
If she pulls out like a magical lasso in the next issue, we'll be something. Yeah.
And and it's also interesting the way I'm still surprised at how much they've taken from that old G1 episode Madman's Paradise, where apparently that episode forms the core backstory of this comic. They just kind of substituted, instead of in the original Madman's Paradise, it's a third season G1 episode, so of course Optimus Prime at that point is dead and not involved in anything. But in this comic, they make that that backstory of how the Golden One rose to power. It was when he has the character sheet in the back of the book, and it says, long ago Optimus Prime came to Minonia and helped the Golden One overthrow the bad guys and helped him seize control and liberate the planet. And that they firmly established that this is the backstory, that the Autobots have been to this planet before and helped liberate them before, and then later on the Golden One just became a tyrant because of the Soltron's influence. And so it's just interesting how that continues to inform the backstory for this comic. And it's such a weird kind of seed to take the seed from this random G1 episode as an idea and then spin it into this whole new miniseries, which it's really interesting. It's like taking that old the episode, we talked about that episode City of Steel, where they just took that episode and made a figure out of it for Optimus Prime turned into an alligator, and the Super 7 made a figure out of it. It would be like taking that episode and using that as a backstory for a comic miniseries, just to explain why your main character is the Optimus Prime alligator for some reason. It's
right.
It's really it seems really random and really weird, but it turned into a good miniseries.
I know it. I'm wondering if we'll see some more mining of weird episodes where they could just kind of launch off from there and do some really cool stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking the other kind of weird G1 episode, that Web World episode in season 3, where they take Galvatron to the planet to try and cure his madness. I mean, you could spin that off into a psychological drama where you have Galvatron, fighting corrupt psychiatrists or something. So, but so we'll be wrapping up the last issue of King Grimlock next month, and we'll see the thrilling conclusion. So that's our review for King Grimlock number 4. And so we'll finish up this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode with a little bit of feedback. Okay, we've got a couple of comments from YouTube, and this is over the video that we put up where we had a little bit of a review of the Transformers Tactical Arena app that's on the iOS App Store. So this is on Apple Arcade. This was a new game that was put up for Apple Arcade. It was released a couple of months ago, and since Jeremy and I both have Apple Arcade, we tried it out, and we had a little online match, and you guys got to see it in action. So this is the Tactical Arena game was kind of a Transformers skin over the Clash Royale app game that's, kind of a PvP, real-time strategy game. And it's fun. So a couple of comments here. One from Andrew Villers. He says, the game has a learning curve as far as experimentation is concerned. I've been steadily rising after finding what's worked for me. I'm an aggressive swarmer myself, so I've built my deck around that. I like the voice acting, the theming, and the details. I also like that the legends have an alt mode that can be triggered at the player's discretion. Soundwave is already my favorite as he deploys Laserbeak, Rumble, and Ravage. It's the little touches that get me the most. And we also have Fodix TV, who says, nice video. I feel like I might have already played a match against Big C. Well, maybe. Although I do have to say, I think it's been about a month since I've touched a game. I was, that game is a little bit addictive. I found myself playing it every day, trying to complete all the challenges every day, and I've just felt like this is something that will even without the microtransactions, it wasn't something that I wanted to invest so much time in every day, and it's like it's just you're just continually working to beat other players, so I kind of felt like I didn't want to, I didn't want to commit to this every day for the foreseeable future. So
I think you lasted longer than me.
Yeah. And I felt I kind of have to go cold turkey or it's going to keep pulling me back. So I just stopped playing. But it was fun. I mean, it was a fun game. So, and I do like, the fact that there were no microtransactions that made it, is a good time. So.
There's still no way to play it on Android yet, eh?
No, it's only on Apple right now. I mean, Google does have their equivalent Play Plus, game stores thing where they have games that are subscription based on their subscription plan without microtransactions, but they haven't migrated it there yet. So I imagine they will eventually. Why wouldn't they?
I think usually these things are exclusive for a period of time, and then it can go to other stores.
Mm-hmm. And this is kind of it's like it's kind of like one traditional mobile it's a mobile game genre that a lot of games have just taken and reskinned. So it's not like this is something that's unique. The gameplay is pretty kind of standardized across all these games. It's like getting a skin of Tetris or Pac-Man or something, and just putting Transformers or other licensed characters in it. So, there's a little bit more. I mean, they did tailor it pretty well to Transformers, like with all of the characters and powers and stuff. So that's what made it appealing to a Transformers fan. So, yeah,
I would play a Pac-Man skinned with like Grimlock as Pac-Man and Insecticons as the ghosts. I would stick with that for a while.
Yep. Apollo, I don't know. Do you have Apple Arcade? Have you had a chance to take a look at this?
No, I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
Yeah. So I don't know if you do have Apple Arcade, you might want to check it out. But I wouldn't subscribe to Apple Arcade just for this game. So.
Okay, that's good to know.
All right. Well, that will do it for this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Happy New Year, everyone. Apollo, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you online?
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on the show again. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RoboApollo. I post a lot of my Transformers inspired artwork there. I will be opening up commissions for TFCon at Los Angeles soon, so keep an eye on my social media accounts for that. I'm also a member of the Transmissions server, so Discord server, so I like to talk Transformers with people, so say hi and let's talk Transformers.
It's my line.
I know. I took your line, Daryl. Borrowed it.
You didn't pay. You didn't register the trademark, Daryl. You got to do that.
It lapsed.
Maybe he did in Canada.
Oh.
I can share it.
All right. And as always, at the end of every episode, we give a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrons. So thank you again to John 4X11Good, Dinobot Maximize, Demon Tech 82, and Septimus Soulvein. Thank you all for continuing to support the show at our highest level. And if you want to buy some merchandise from our TeePublic store, that also will help out the show. So if you go to transmissionspodcast.com/shop, that's where you can check out some of our shirt designs, masks, all their merchandise. And if you want to buy anything from TeePublic, go through our link, and that helps out the show. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time in the new year. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.